I start?
Yes, you can start. It's now 10:31.
Oh, okay. Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be talking about a very most interesting topic that has been debated all around. Some are against AI and some arguments for AI. So today we'll be focusing on the arguments for AI. Ne? So yeah, you know, things won't be perfect always in this world. Always people will debate for it. Yeah. So okay, let's go to introduction. So firstly, I want us to start from learning. How we learn, how people learn. So people learn by interacting. You must interact with the thing so that you can learn. For example, when you are learning how to drive, or you can't just find a personal driver for you to assist your personal assistant who will assist you for driving and drive the car for you, but that person has to teach you how to drive the car. You are the one who have to be in front of the steering wheel and drive the car so that you can learn. Ne? So that's how learning works. So even here, the learning, that is how the learning is working, has been working for us. The learners, they have to interact. They have to think on their own. They have to study on their own. Ne? So how remembering works? Obvious, by interacting. If learners, they have been interacting with the content that has been taught, or if it's a challenge-based learning, learners, they will be physically in contact with the real-world issues or learning about the real-world issues so that they can link the theory that they learn in class to the practical learning. Ne? So that's how remembering works. Even when, like for example, the example that I gave about someone who will assist you for driving a car. That person will see, if the person sits next to you and they drive the car, and then that person act as a guide, tell you what to do and how to do it. And even if when the person is no longer with you, you will be able to drive the car. But if the person drives the car for you and you are sitting next to the person, you may see, but you are not engaging, actually. You are not driving that car. So what will happen to you? When the person is not there, you can't even, you can even fail to start the car because you did not even drive that car. So that's how remembering works. So even if the person is not there, you will try to think, actually, what did I do last? Ne? So that's how remembering works. Ne? So even the learners, it will be the same way. So let's go to AI as a tool in learning. So you know, AI must be used as a tool in learning. For example, I gave the example of a hammer, as you can see there, and you see the nail and the hand and the wall. Ne? So as you see the hammer there, the hammer represent AI, which is the one that people use now, the learners that they use now. Ne? So as the hammer represents AI, what about the hand that you see? Then the hand represents the teacher or the learner. Then that's you controlling the nail, driving the hammer, so that you can achieve what you want to achieve. So if we go to the nail represents the real world challenge. It means now we are dealing with a real world challenge. You have to link the theories that you know in order for you to make sure that the nail penetrates the wall. You have to hold that nail so that you know when you are moving with the hammer, you are moving the nail. So you see, so the wall represents the knowledge or solution being built. So you see, now you are penetrating the nail into the wall. What will happen then? It's like you are trying to find the solution. You can't just penetrate the nail without the papers. Obviously, you have the papers. You have the goal to achieve. Ne?
Yeah.
So vice versa, the goal won't be achieved. Vice versa, I mean that the hammer alone cannot drive itself. The nail alone cannot penetrate the wall. So what I'm trying to say here? I'm trying to say that AI, it needs human creativity, which it aligns with CAPS. Ne? So if you check, if people don't use these tools the way as the goal won't be achieved. So for example, if I want to link it to Bible, you know, Bible in Genesis, they say that when God said that it's not good for a man to be alone. So it's the same even here. AI alone is not enough. AI is not enough alone. So it requires a human creativity. Next. That's why I said that AI requires human creativity, meaning you have to be creative. It also requires the critical thinking, guidance to solve challenges. Next. It means the AI will act as a guide for you to solve challenges, not AI solving challenges for you. Next. So today I want us to take AI as the tool. For our tool here, I gave example of a hammer. So, okay, let's go to the next slide, which is challenge-based learning. Ne? So, what is challenge-based learning? Challenge-based learning is a teaching and learning method where learners solve real-world problems. And it encourages learners to think critically and apply what they learn to real-life situations. This aligns with the CAPS document where it encourages that learners, they must be assessed using low order questions, middle order questions, and the higher order questions. So challenge-based learning, it means that learners, they learn where they are solving the real world issues, things that are around them, things that are happening, like they take theory, put theory into practice. So we have phases of CBL, which is challenge-based learning. Number one is to engage, identify a real-world challenge. Riverbend's growth issue, which is is on the case that I sent yesterday about the Riverbend. The topic is all about economic growth and economic development. So it means that the learners, they identify real-world challenge there on the case. And then, secondly, they investigate, gather, and analyze data. So learners, they don't just go to AI and ask for the answers. Learners, they have to gather and analyze data before they can even go to AI, so that AI can help them coming up with the, maybe it can be recommendation or analysis, so that they can see it very well. Maybe it's visual or graph or stuff. So secondly is to act, design solutions and present recommendation. Then learners, they will design solution and present their recommendation. So what is the teacher role? The teacher role is as a facilitator and a guide. It means you are there to guide the learners. Then what is the learner role? Researcher and a problem solver. You don't give the learners the answers, but the learners, they have to come up with the solution on their own. That is challenge-based learning. Yeah? So let's go to, this is the case that I was talking about, which is the Riverbend. Says it's a small coastal town that recently experienced rapid economic growth after a new manufacturing park opened. So if we look at that case, it covers the economic growth and economic development. So if learners, they read this case and they link it to what they learn in class, they will see that now the theory it came to practice. Now we can see it in real life. If you see there, they talk about the increase in the economy. They say that the town's gross domestic product, GDP, rose from 2.5 million in year one to 2.7 million in year two, showing an increase and an 8% increase. This is the definition of economic growth. If you check it well, economic growth talks about the increase in production of goods and services over a year. So if learners, they can see that there's an increase there, then they can write down that what they already know. They link what they already know, listing them down before they can go to AI. So jobs, continuing that, says that jobs were created in the manufacturing sector. Learners, they can see jobs creation fall under which part. They can differentiate between economic growth and economic development. So, but not everyone shared in the benefits. Then they can link that what is economic development. Economic development is about improving people's life. It is about people benefiting. So unemployment in the formal sector stayed at 14%. Poverty only dropped slightly from 32% to 31.5%, and income inequality increased. So you see, income inequality has increased. With the Gini coefficient rising from 0.42 to 0.44, then learners, if they don't really know what is the meaning of Gini coefficient and what does it mean when it increased, they can go to AI and check there. Instead of it giving them the answer, they are only seeking for clarity. Ne? So yeah, let's go to AI tools that can be used. So there are many tools that can be used, which I included in my project. But here I want to give example about ChatGPT. So one of the AI tools is ChatGPT, which it explains concepts, generate examples. It means it explains concepts. When learners they don't understand a certain concept, they can go to AI. If they can read and see that the English is very big, they can go to AI, and then AI will make it simple and give them the examples. So in this case, the learners, they don't have to cram the AI concept, but they have to understand, but the AI have to make them understand the concept that is there, though they are provided by the teacher. So for example, the learner can ask how GDP linked to economic growth and example of economic development. It means that learners, they read the case. First, they have to read the case before they can even go to AI. Now they read the case. Now they ask how GDP, like they had some questions, but no one to ask, but they can ask AI how GDP linked to economic growth and example of economic development. So this is what the AI response that I made screenshot of. When GDP increases from one year to the next, it means the country is producing more. This shows economic growth. So learners, they understand that, like on the case study, so that there was an increase in the economic growth. It means that is the definition of economic growth, as I said. Now they will understand. They'll be like, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's it. So for example, if South Africa, then it also gave them the example. If South Africa GDP grows from 5 trillion to 5.5 trillion, the economy has grown by 0.5 trillion. That's economic growth. And this example that they see here is also there on the case. If you see, the GDP rose from 2.5 to 2.7. So if you see the example, 5 trillion to 5.5 trillion, it's not giving them the direct answer, the exactly numbers that are there on the case, but they have to think on their own. How are they going to explain using those numbers that are there on the case? So yeah, also the example of the economic development, which was there. So the goal is to support understanding, not replace human thinking. So it means that people have to think out of the box instead of you treating AI to replace how they think. So let's let's talk about how learners can use ChatGPT to think critically. Firstly, they have to understand the challenge before the ChatGPT. Learners understand what's the challenge there on the case before they can even go to ChatGPT. Because if they don't understand what's the challenge, what is the purpose of them trying to solve what they don't understand? If they go, it means that the ChatGPT will solve for them. But if they understand the challenge, now to ChatGPT, they're only going for clarity, the concept that they may not understand in the case. Then secondly, they have to explore the concept, not answers. It means they will explore the concept but not answers, apply and analyze. Then they will also have to apply and analyze. So when they understand the concept, learners can use ChatGPT to test their reasoning. Here I gave example. The learner can be like, if the informal sector unemployment stays high, what could that mean for development? Then the learner says, I think pollution might hurt long-term growth. That makes sense economically. Then it can also help in that. So the purpose is to encourage critical thinking. Learners check if their reasoning is logical and supported by evidence. So these are some of the tips. I will just read them, which is the firstly, what you have to remind the learners. ChatGPT does not give marks, your thinking does. Use ChatGPT to ask why and how questions, not give me the answers questions. Always summarize the answer in your own words. Discuss their findings in group, because challenge-based learning is about collaboration and reflection. So learners, they should not cram AI responses, because they have to remember these things. How can you create when you can't even think? So how AI helps learners and teachers? Learners get instant explanation in simple English, visualize data trends easily, practice and receive quick feedback. And teachers, it saves time with question generation, track learners' progress, focus on higher order thinking during the lessons. So inclusivity and accessibility, here I listed some of the things so that you ensure that you are still in line with the CAPS, because CAPS document foster inclusivity. Ne? So group learners, so one the device serves many, teacher prints out AI outputs for offline learners, use school computers or local library access, blend digital and traditional methods. So you are not abandoning the traditional method that was used, but you blend the method with the digital one. So the goal is for equal participation regardless of data or device access. So AI does not replace teachers. Remember, AI assists learning, but teachers provide the context and the human guidance, ethical understanding, motivation, and mentorship. So AI won't replace teachers, but we use AI wisely will lead the future. So now let's discuss, or let's talk about, go to the questions. Ne? So this is a grade 11 question, middle order question. So the question was like, using Riverbend's data, that's there in the case, calculate the economic growth rate from year 1 to year 2. Show your working. So here it's all about seeing how the learners they must show their working. So if the learners write the correct formula, it shows that they understand the concept of economic growth. Economic growth. They substitute the correct values, 1 mark for that, correct final answer, 1 mark for that, and the final percentage stated clearly. Because economic growth, we talk about the economic growth rate. So it depends. There is economic growth, increasing economic growth, and increasing economic growth rate. So this is question 2, high order questions, one of grade 11 questions. So Riverbend's leaders noticed that GDP is rising, but poverty and inequality remain high. As an economic advisor, suggest and justify 2 realistic policies that could turn this economic growth into true economic development for all citizens. So here, learners are required to suggest. Here they have to suggest on their own according to the case. Then they suggest, and then they justify the 2 realistic policies for so that they can turn this economic growth into true economic development. Because if you can check on the case, there was no economic development, but economic growth was there. Then how can they make sure that this economic growth is turned into true economic development? So for naming policy only is 1 mark. If the justification is not clear, 1 mark. But if they link between policy and indicators, they can get full 3 marks each. So there are the possible answers that they can come with. The example of policy and explanation of development impact. So AI gives information, learners give understanding. So I think I'm done with my presentation. Thank you guys.